Hi, my name is Louisa. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today, I want to talk about emotional eating. And this is something very interesting because I discovered this when I was younger, but also now as a life coach. This was a topic during one of my last client sessions, and I thought it would be a very interesting topic to discuss today. So what is emotional eating? So basically, it is whenever a emotion comes up. This could be either when you're super stressed out, when you feel you're either sad about a certain situation that just occurred, or if you're feeling kind of like a social way of eating whenever you're out with people, you feel it's kind of like the norm of eating with them. So that would be kind of like the ways of emotional eating. What I've discovered is in the past, whenever I felt sad or when I felt like I didn't achieve all my goals for that day, I would then go for emotional eating. Back when I was 13, my parents separated and they got a divorce. And I remember that instead of like speaking about it, I felt comfort in eating. And not all the time, but I felt comfort in whenever I felt extremely sad. I knew, like, okay, at least that food or something like kind of like overeating will fill my way of feeling more comfortable, or it's really something because it's in our nature that we do not like to be uncomfortable. And this is something that is amazingly to work on to feel okay with the uncomfortable feeling. And so today I want to just discuss a little bit more on what I would suggest if you're feeling that you're struggling with emotional eating. So before you're thinking of, do I have like this kind of thing that I'm constantly going for food? When do I go for this type of food when am I emotional eating? So first of all, I would suggest you just to identify your trigger. So this could be maybe by keeping a food diary, just to see the pattern of when am I going for, like when am I emotional eating? When am I craving more the sugary food? When am I feeling that nothing can kind of like feel me comfort? Then is when I'm going for that type of food. It doesn't mean that you always every day are emotional eating, right? It could also just be a period sometimes when something occurs in your life, then you would go do this type of thing and really starting to emotional eat. So I don't know if that's correct English, like then you start emotional eating. So what I would suggest, keep a food diary, just keep it like and just analyze it over a week time. When felt I the urge to kind of like eat without, with full abundance, but not completely being mindful of what I'm eating. So keep a food diary, track it, and just go back to it and see when was those days when I went for more like overeating, or when I went just for not feeling good about myself and just went for food. Common triggers for me, as I mentioned, when it was something related to a sadness, stress could be, boredom could be, just maybe also kind of like ways of social settings or social activities that you feel anxious about. That could be kind of triggers to start emotional eating. What really helped for me was to implement exercise whenever I felt that this is coming up. So instead of going to the fridge and just randomly eat without really noticing, like without really feeling, oh, I'm hungry, it was just more of a stress factor. I would then go for the fridge, but then I started to switch this habit of mine and went for an exercise. Literally, this could be anything. It could be feeling that you're getting anxious and knowing, okay, this is maybe a trigger. So instead of me going for fridge and just randomly eat, I would just do some exercise. So I would, for example, go for a walk, or you implement a workout. It shouldn't be something that it should be something very easy to go for, right? So if you love to listen to a podcast, fantastic. Take the podcast and use it as a way of keeping it kind of like to keep your mind off. So go for a walk, listen to a podcast, and you will notice that your anxiety or this feeling of this urge of I want to go and do some emotional eating will definitely decrease. And also what is important that you're really full. So make sure that your meals, your 3 meals or more meals that you're eating during the day are fully nutritious. So you will feel that you're fueled, but you feel that it's not something like that you remember, like all those, I think almost, and anyone can relate, specifically women, that we are like on this constant like diet and calorie counting. Like stop with that and just go for nutritious meals, enjoy them fully, be present. This is another tip I want to recommend. Whenever, like when I was younger, I would just like randomly eat, just already in the kitchen start eating, but be mindful of what you're eating. Take a plate out, sit for like have your plate, have it nicely set up, and enjoy your meal. No distractions, no phone, because everything that you're doing with our phone, we're actually not fully present. So it will also mean if you're having a meal with your phone next to you, you will notice that you're actually not really consuming the food properly, in the sense of probably you're eating too fast, but also are you really mindful of what you're eating? And also, the moment you're mindful of when you're eating, you will eat slower, which also means that eventually you will have these hunger signals signing like, okay, yes, I'm full. Another tip I want to share about making sure that you always have healthy snacks at hand, that you wouldn't go as fast for unhealthy ones. So make sure that they are high in protein and fiber. My special, like how, like what I always love is just to make sure that maybe I have some boiled eggs extra in your fridge, just have some cheese, maybe some nuts, maybe some fruits if you like that, like things that are for you a treat, but not in that sense that it's such as ice cream that will not only give you this sugar rush and you will feel depleted afterwards, but also just it feels that you're actually nourishing your body instead of kind of like hurting your body with food that you really that are not nutritious, and kind of we do not need them, right? And what I've noticed as well is the moment that I set this type of goals for myself, such as I want to stop with emotional eating, like don't be too harsh on yourself in terms of like, okay, this is my big goal, but also allow yourself to make smaller steps. So I made my big goal smaller by keeping them weekly. So my weekly goal was to make sure that I would have healthy snacks at hand. I would make sure that I would prepare my meals up front, so I knew exactly kind of like what I was eating, and making sure that it was filling and nutritious, high in protein. Protein, I cannot emphasize it enough. Probably if you've seen my other videos, I'm a huge advocate of consuming optimal protein, and it will keep you fuller for longer. You will feel that you are energized for longer. You'll feel that it's not only giving you like this positive energy because you're really giving your body what it needs. You will thrive on it. And you don't feel, which I discovered many times when I was younger, this sugar crashes. So make sure it's high in protein. And if you are, for example, on the go, make sure that you have these snacks at hand up front. Like it's kind of like a preparation, but it will give you so much benefits afterwards because you feel that you are in control of your body and not your mindset. And also remember, we are never our thoughts. So sometimes negative emotions comes up, and that is okay. Allow these negative emotions to come. We do not want to like push them away because they will in the future come way stronger back at us. Just acknowledge this thought. And for example, I was struggling when I was younger, as I mentioned, with emotional eating. And I felt like, okay, this sadness is coming up. And now I just kind of like acknowledge whenever I have a sadness feeling or whenever I have something happening to my life, it's like, okay, can I actually change it right now? But also, this is a question I can ask myself about, is this really serving me? Is this thought really serving my end goal? Is this helping my end goal? I want to be a healthy mother, an active, positive mother. So will emotional eating help me to become that? And this is now for emotional eating, but it means in any type of thing, like when a negative thought is coming, allow it to happen, maybe analyze it, observe it, but don't think that this thought defines you. You are not your thought. So this is kind of like, I hope, inspiring to you. And if you please, if you have any questions about this, or you want to send me a personal email, that is also fine. I will put all my details in the show notes. And If you have a specific topic that I can discuss next time, please let me know. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.